Farmers and MPs are split on how Australia should handle the outbreak of foot and mouth disease in Indonesia. Our reporter Holly Edward-Smith is live in Melbourne for us. Holly, this has been really a long-running debate now for at least the last couple of days, if not the last week or so. Where have both sides landed?
Laura, as you said, this is an ongoing debate, and there are a multitude of different opinions about how Australia should be handling the outbreak of foot and mouth disease that is going on in Indonesia. Something all sides do have in common is that they want to keep the virus out of Australia to avoid it decimating our livestock industry. It's a highly transmissible virus that affects cows and pigs and other livestock, and it's really breaking out in Indonesia and really affecting the sector over there. There are currently certain biosecurity measures that are in place at airports here in Australia, but there are calls that not enough is being done. And there is also the discussion about whether or not Australia should be closing its border. The Shadow Foreign Affairs and Home Affairs Minister, Karen Andrews, has said that she believes the border should be closed. However, the Agricultural Minister, Murray Watt, has said that that's not on his agenda at the moment. Instead, he'll be looking to increase those biosecurity measures at airports.
Look, we have no plans to close the borders either in Indonesia or to any of the other many countries that have foot and mouth disease. The reality is that biosecurity is everybody's business. Everyone has a role to play here, whether it be me as the minister, whether it be state governments, particularly if we were to get an outbreak to occur here, but also we need the travelling public and farmers to do their bit as well.
Currently, the measures at airports is mainly an honesty system, and it relies on travellers knowing where they've been and whether or not they're bringing any material that may be hazardous and may be carrying any traces of foot and mouth virus. So that means muddy shoes if people have been to rural areas or if they're bringing over any food or produce. But there may not be enough information for travellers to know exactly what they're bringing over, and the Shadow Trade and Tourism Minister has said that he doesn't think the government is doing enough and needs to amp up those security measures now to keep the virus out of Australia.
Holly,
we should be doing two more things immediately. One of those things is compulsory decontamination of all shoes. Now, they're still not doing that. What I want to see before border closures as an option is I want all people who travel back from Bali or Indonesia that they have to stay in a capital city for longer, for up to 2 days. The disease has a life cycle, and if we keep them in the cities longer before they go to regional Australia, that lowers the risk as well.
Laura, Australia does remain virus-free. However, concerningly, there has been fragments of it detected in some food here in Melbourne and in South Australia as well. That's not live virus, so it doesn't pose a huge threat, but it does just show how increasingly this situation is escalating, not only in Indonesia, but in places like China as well. And it's something that politicians and farmers here in Australia are keeping an eye on to make sure that this virus does stay out of our country.
Holly, thank you.